When it comes to investing for retirement, the type of account you use can be just as important as the investments you choose. Pick the wrong one, and you could end up paying thousands more in taxes over your lifetime. In aviation, a waypoint is where you adjust course to stay on track. In financial planning, we call those critical financial events. I created this channel so that no matter what life throws at you, you can maintain the vision to see beyond the waypoint. Today, we're breaking down Roth accounts, what they are, the different types out there, and the pros and cons of each, so you can figure out which one makes the most sense for your financial plan. Let's start with the basics. A Roth account is funded with after-tax dollars. You pay taxes on the money now, and then your withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. Why that matters? Well, your money grows tax-free. Roth IRAs don't have required minimum distributions. You can take out contributions penalty-free anytime, and most importantly, it gives you flexibility with taxes in retirement. Here's why that flexibility matters. When you're working, especially later in your career, you're usually in a higher tax bracket. Because your income is at its peak, when you retire, your income often drops, which usually puts you in a lower tax bracket. But here's the catch. If all your retirement savings are in pre-tax accounts, like a traditional 401k or IRA, every dollar you take out will be taxed. Add Social Security, pensions, RMDs on top of that, and it can push your effective tax rate higher than you expected. By building a Roth bucket while you're in lower tax years, like early in your career or during a dip in income, you're giving your future self more options. In retirement, you can now blend withdrawals between pre-tax and Roth accounts. This gives you control over your taxable income, helps you stay in a lower tax bracket, and keeps costs like Medicare premiums and capital gains taxes low. There's one thing you need to keep in mind with Roth accounts, that there's a 5-year rule. Here's what it means. Once you put money into a Roth, it has to stay in the account for 5 years before the earnings can be withdrawn tax-free. The clock starts ticking on January 1st of the year you make your first contribution or conversion, and it keeps running even if you stop contributing later on. Your contributions are always available to pull out tax-free, but your growth has to stay in there until that 5-year mark is met. This rule is especially important if you're close to retirement and planning to use those Roth dollars soon. What are the different types of Roth accounts? Well, let's start with the Roth IRA. Anyone can open a Roth IRA. Contributing directly depends on how much you make. In 2025, you can contribute up to $7,000 per year if you're under 50, and up to $8,000 per year if you're over 50. The income limits where contributions start to phase out in 2025 is $150,000 for single filers and $236,000 for married filing jointly. If you make more than that, you can't contribute directly, but there's a strategy to get around it, called a backdoor Roth. Here's how it works. Step 1, you put money into a traditional IRA, but you make it a non-deductible contribution, so you don't get any tax break up front. Step 2, right away you convert that money into a Roth IRA, then get it invested where it can grow tax-free. Here's the catch, and this is important. If you already have money in a traditional IRA, the IRS looks at all of your IRA balances when you do the conversion. This is called the pro rata rule. If most of your IRA money is pre-tax, a chunk of that conversion will be taxable. So if you got big traditional IRA balances, this strategy can get messy really fast. That's why you need to plan carefully before doing backdoor Roths. So your Roth IRA pros, you control the investments. There are no RMDs or required minimum distributions for your lifetime, and contributions can be withdrawn anytime, tax and penalty free. But the cons are income limits restrict direct contributions, and you have lower contribution limits than workplace plans. Next up is the Roth 401k. This one comes through your employer. In 2025, contribution limits are $23,500 per year, up to 50. If you're 50 or older, you can add a $7,500 catch-up contribution, bringing the total to $31,000. And if you're between ages 60 and 63, there's now a bonus catch-up that pushes your total up to $34,750. So the pros, much higher contribution limits than the Roth IRA. You'll also get any employer match, and you can now choose if the plan allows to have that match go in as Roth as well. There are now no longer RMDs for the 401k, so that's similar to the Roth IRA as well. But I would say the biggest pro And the most common misconception is there are no income limits for contributing to the Roth 401k. Regardless of how much you make, you are eligible to contribute to a Roth 401k provided your employer offers one. The cons, you do have limited investment options depending on your plan, and unlike the Roth IRA, you can't just pull out contributions early. 401k plans require withdrawals to be taken proportionately between your contributions and the growth. That means an early withdrawal will always include growth, which would trigger taxes and penalties on that portion if you're under 59 and a half. So Roth 401ks are best viewed as long-term retirement accounts, not as places to dip into before retirement. Quick note on rollovers, if you roll a 401k, a Roth 401k into a Roth IRA, your contributions stay accessible, but the growth gets locked up for 5 years unless you already had a Roth IRA in place. That would also have had to been open for 5 years. This can surprise people who roll their Roth 401k over and expect to access everything immediately. Then we have the mega backdoor Roth 401k. Some 401k plans allow for an even more powerful strategy called the mega backdoor Roth. This lets you save far beyond the normal 401k limits. This strategy is ideal if you're already maxing out regular 401k contributions, but still want to save more, but not all plans offer it. Your plan must allow after-tax contributions and either in-plan Roth conversions or in-service rollovers to a Roth IRA. Check with your HR or your plan provider to see if this feature is available. So how does it work? Well, step one, max out your regular 401k contributions. I usually recommend doing these pre-tax for the upfront tax savings. Then step two, you add after-tax contributions above the standard limit. Before you invest those, you either convert it inside to the Roth 401k, or some plans dictate that you roll them into a Roth IRA. Either way, it gets moved over to the Roth, gets invested, and starts growing on an after-tax basis. The total combined limit for employee, employer, and after-tax contributions is $70,000. If you're 50 or older, add another $7,500 catch-up. And between ages 60 and 63, that catch-up jumps to $11,250, letting you save even more. Solo business owners also can tap into this strategy. If you're a solo business owner, you can create your own 401k and design it to allow after-tax contributions and Roth conversions. That gives you full control to run the mega backdoor Roth for yourself. You get the best of both worlds. Pre-tax contributions gives you tax savings today when you're in peak earning years. Then the mega backdoor contributions build up passive pools of tax-free money for your future. The last strategy we'll cover is the Roth conversion, and this one is all about flexibility. Unlike a backdoor Roth, which gets new contributions into Roth dollars, a Roth conversion moves existing money from a pre-tax account like a traditional IRA or 401k into a Roth account. Why you'd consider a conversion? Well, if you're in a lower income year, like after retirement but before Social Security or RMDs kick in, maybe the market is down, so you convert when values are lower and pay taxes on less. Required minimum distributions don't apply to Roth IRAs, or you want to leave tax-free money to your heirs. The trade-off is when you convert, the amount you move counts as taxable income in that year. If you do convert too much at once, it can push you into a higher tax bracket, and that could also result in higher Medicare premiums. That's why it often makes sense to spread conversions out over several years to stay in lower brackets and manage your overall tax impact. Roth conversions are one of the best ways to take control of when and how you pay taxes. Instead of being forced to take taxable withdrawals later through RMDs, you're deciding the timing yourself, often at lower rates. So how do you decide which option is right for you? If you're just getting started, a Roth IRA is usually the best first step. It's simple and flexible. If you're a high saver with a workplace plan, a Roth 401k helps you maximize your contributions. If your plan offers it, of course, mega backdoor Roths can supercharge your tax-free savings. And if you already have big pre-tax balances, then Roth conversions can help you manage future taxes on your terms. The right choice depends on your income, your tax situation, and your long-term goals. Talk with a financial advisor or tax professional before making a move. Not all flights will be without turbulence, so it's important to make adjustments when needed. Like and subscribe for more videos on how we support clients in their financial journey, helping them see beyond the waypoint.